What's up guys, Jeff here. This is probably going to be one of the longer videos. I'm going to go over how to optimize your animations in Dark Souls 2 Scholar, usually in the any percent run. At least that's what the examples are going to be from. And there's a lot you can do with optimizing your animations. So one thing you'll probably already know about is that we always offhand in our left hand. You do this by holding the two-hand button down. If you press it once, you two-hand in the right hand. You will notice that if I light this bonfire with out the offhand compared to I should load a save state every time I do this. I don't even think there's a more efficient way to show this. Right. You'll notice that was slightly slower, like, you know, fractionally slower than lighting it if, as I'm going to show, but just using my offhand. Because your character does a little extra thing with his hands in that situation. So bonfires are one of the big ones that you want a two-hand offhand for. The other one that's much faster with the two-hand in the offhand is the item pickup. You always want to do that with two hands in the offhand if you can afford to, because it would just be slightly faster. Warp to Majula, I guess, for the next... Oh no, we have to reload the save state again. Because I want to demonstrate one more thing with the bonfires. So when you're lighting a bonfire, if you're about to sit down at the bonfire at the same time you light it, so let's say you're doing a peach walk or peach sit down in Forest of Fallen Giants, or here where you're going to walk from Bastille to Majula, or there's probably some other point I can't think of where you do this. You're going to want to make sure that while you're lighting the bonfire, you're holding forwards so that you skip a small part of the animation. Sit down faster. You'll notice a similar thing when you use items or pick up items. You pick up an item, then just start mashing Q. You have to wait all the way for the picking up item animation to finish before the pop-up comes. However, if you... I'll demonstrate with this chest. You pick up an item, then take a single step, it will pop up immediately, and you skip a part of the item animation. This guy to leave. Okay. So there's two things to keep into account. Another reason you would want to two-hand your offhand is for fog gates. Fog gates, there's always an animation skip if you have the two-hand in the offhand. However, you need to be pushed up right against the fog gate in order to get this skip. So here, for example, if you're walking into the fog gate, you'll get a very fast animation. Whereas if I load the save state again, even if I'm two-handing left, if I come at it and press E too quickly, I get a slightly longer. For the dancey animation, it isn't as good. Another one you're going to want to watch out for is opening doors. Opening doors, you want to pay a lot of attention to which hand you're two-handing, because it's going to speed up the animation. This is the wrong save state. Okay, I'll demonstrate something else while I'm here. Ladders. Ladders, I don't believe, are affected by two-handing or off-handing. That seems pretty much the same, but what you do want to do is make sure you're lined up with the ladder, so you have a nice quick animation getting on, because if you come at it from like an angle, you'll notice your character sort of likes to shimmy a bit to get on, because if you come at it nice and straight, you can get a nice animation skip, and your character will get on there faster. What I was going to demonstrate, again, is doors. Doors are a bit trickier, because depending on which sort of door you're opening, you're going to want to two-hand different ways. The general way to remember it is you want to be two-handing the side of the door you're about to open. So if I'm opening this one, I want to have my hands in the rapier hand, so that the animation is slightly faster. Again though, as with the ladder, you're going to want to be flush with the door, to try and skip as much of that sort of teleporting into door animation position as possible. If I'm opening it from the other side, I'll want to be off-handing the left, because the crease of the door is on the other side. And this is kind of funky. You're going to want to be really far to the side of the door to line yourself up for as much of an animation cancel as possible, just to optimize that when you can. It takes a bit to get used to, but you just need to learn where your character is while doing each of these animations and try and get as close to that spot as possible. Another thing that you can do to optimize animations is when using a life gem. If you fall off a ledge midway through the animation, you gain control of your character much faster, and it's just overall a lot faster than if you had to wait the whole animation out after that point. Just a little another way to optimize things. I'll load another save state to demonstrate this. There are also ways to optimize using animations with consumables. I'm going to demonstrate. One is bright bugs. If you use a bright bug and then roll, you can cancel a bit of the end of the animation. It's not that useful with bright bugs, but it's a lot more useful with something like an alluring skull, where you can spam roll, queue up a roll to cancel just the very end of the animation. You can do the same thing with resins. You can either spam roll to skip the end of the animation, or you can hold block and it'll skip a little bit of animation as well, by blocking. Both those things are useful, and you'll want to do that most of the time whenever you use any of these sorts of consumables. Looking at these notes, and I believe got everything. Oh, there is one more thing. This one's a bit of a meme, but I'll show it off just for the sake of completeness. in some areas, you can abuse the fact that the game is slightly harsher with drops and menus to get more stamina than you should do by sort of opening a menu while going to an area in a specific spot. I think the only spot I use this in my PB is in, I want to say, Theldora, where you, just after you open the door, sort of use this trick down the side of that wall, save a little bit of stamina and get to Congregation with one less stamina cycle. But yeah, this is a spot where it's most apparent. You sort of walk, I think it's around here, sort of walk along the side of these walls, then use this. You'll notice that I'm sprinting the entire way and not losing any stamina. I think there's a more efficient way to use this. But as you can see, I've run basically the whole way to the Throne of One without having to consume any stamina at all, which is pretty funky. I think that's about all of them. See ya. Wait, no, I just realized there's one more. One more. There's only one spot in the run where we use this one, but again, you know, sake of completeness. The basic idea is you can pick up items on the first few frames that you're falling, and if you do that, then you can fall while picking up the item just to have slightly more optimal movement. I guess I'll demonstrate the doors here. So this item here, you want to sort of run off the edge and grab the item as we're running off. Like that, and it's slightly faster. So yeah, that is actually about it. See ya.